Clifford the Big Red Dog is out now in theaters. It is also on Paramount Plus. Clifford is based on the children's books of the same name, and it is also an adaptation of the TV show that aired on PBS in, I don't know, when I was younger. I don't know what years those were. As middle schooler Emily Elizabeth struggles to fit in at home and at school, she discovers a small red puppy who is destined to become her best friend from a magical animal rescuer. When Clifford becomes a gigantic red dog in her New York City apartment and attracts the attention of a genetics company who wish to supersize animals, Emily and her clueless uncle Casey have to fight the forces of greed as they go on run across New York City and take a bite out of the Big Apple. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, never read a single Clifford book in my life. I watched the TV show here and there when I was little. It was just one of those TV shows that you would watch before school in the morning. For me, it was always Arthur. We got 2 episodes of Arthur, and then as I had to leave for school, it was Clifford. And then you would come home, Arthur would be on again, Clifford would be on right after Arthur. So I would sometimes watch Clifford, so I don't have a huge knowledge of it. I mean, I know that Clifford talked in the show. I know that he was just gigantic red dog, and then Emily Elizabeth was the girl who owned Clifford. Considering some of the shit that we've gotten this year in terms of taking a popular character and giving it a movie, I guess the prime example would be Tom and Jerry. You know, compared to that, Clifford ain't bad. I mean, Clifford is what Martin Scorsese, compared to that, would say is cinema. It's fine. I surprisingly did not hate Clifford, the movie. I mean, I obviously don't hate the dog, but the movie itself, you know, I kind of found myself wrapped up in its themes of unconditional love and acceptance. Thought that was a good message for kids and for adults, because there's just shitty adults out there. I'm pretty sure that there are some adults who would just treat a big red dog like he's nothing and just leave him out on the sidewalk to rot. And you know, it reminds me of like those people that just like leave their dogs outside in the rain and a storm and they forget all about him. It's like those people just neglect animals, but this movie shows you it's more to shitty human beings in life. So that was a good thing. Also, you come for the big red CGI dog, you stay for the big red CGI dog. Clifford, the CGI'd red dog, steals the entire movie. Everything with Clifford is great. Never a dull moment watching that dog run around and chase people in plastic balls because he wants to play fetch in the park. The funny thing about this movie is that it takes place in New York, and New Yorkers react like this is like something that happens on an everyday basis, which I'm pretty sure would be the response in real life. I'm pretty sure if New Yorkers in real life saw a big red dog chasing after them in Central Park, they'd be like, yeah, that's an everyday occurrence, nothing new to see here. You're not missing anything. So good for you, New Yorkers. If that was Boston, they'd be like, what the fuck is that big red dog in the middle of Rose Kennedy Greenway? Why did I just give myself the Mark Wahlberg accent? I have no idea. Yeah, us Bostonians would be a lot more judgmental, but luckily I'm not originally from Boston. I'm originally from New Hampshire, so I'm not as judgmental as somebody who is a Bostonian. I'd probably be along the lines of the New Yorker people. It'd be like, yeah, that's totally normal. The acting is fine, you know. I mean, the girl that plays Emily Elizabeth, I don't know the actress's name, Darby Camp, I think is her name. She was fine. Jack Whitehall as her uncle. I think was this the dude from Jungle Cruise? Was that him? I think that was him. I don't know. Pretty sure it was him. But he was actually really good. The only times I felt as if the movie was boring and cut away from what we loved about Clifford the Big Red Dog is every time it cuts back to this genetics lab and this genetics company run by the dude who voices Forky in Toy Story 4. Forky is an asshole now. I will never look at Forky the same. Forky thinks he's trash, but then learns the true meaning of life from Woody, and now he's running a genetics company that is trying to mutate animals, and now he's trying to claim it as his own, and he's a bad guy. Forky, sorry, you are trash. Toy Story 4 is now trash. No, I'm just kidding. I still love Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 is the most underrated sequel of all time. Okay, that's probably a big overstatement, but you catch my drift. Every time it cut back to Forky's voice actor, I was said, just get back to Clifford tackling people in the park because he wants to play fetch. That was what made it awesome. The amount of product placement in this movie got really, really on my nerves for some reason. I get it's a kid's movie, but when you take it this far to the extreme where it's like Die Another Day level product placement, where it's, hey, there's a CVS over here, there's a Payless shoe source over here. Oh, look, look, in the background you could see AMC theaters. What's this? Oh, that's a Starbucks over there. Okay, well, yeah, I guess all these companies paid to have their products promoted in this movie. The movie also bothered me in its self-referential things. Like, things like this don't work for me. When there's a character named Bridwell and the author of the books is Bridwell, sometimes that doesn't really sit with me, or sometimes it just goes completely over my head and I don't notice. But I noticed that because I was like, I remembered that because I said, wait, that character that John Cleese plays, isn't that the author of the books? And I Googled it and looked it up and said, yeah, it was him. Clifford is not a terrible movie. I mean, it's not great. It's essentially a paint-by-the-numbers family movie. I mean, I think adults will find some enjoyment, and I think when the adults find enjoyment, it will be with Clifford the Big Red Dog. Same with the kids. Every time a kid watches this movie and it cuts back to the genetics lab and Forky's voice actor just being a dick the whole time, they're just gonna go play with their Clifford plushie. They don't care about that shit. They don't care about Clifford being taken to a lab and him trying to escape. Then there's this whole Avengers Assemble moment like there was in Halloween Kills. Man, the Avengers are so influential now. But I'm not gonna lie when I say I did actually laugh at some parts. There were some parts with Clifford where I laughed. All the moments with Clifford were enjoyable to allow me to enjoy this movie. I thought that this was going to be one of those movies that was just going to pander and be exactly like what Tom and Jerry was early this year. I thought it was going to be one of those movies. And it actually had something to say, and it had some really great scenes with this giant CGI red dog that we're all going to love, and has something for kids and maybe a few things for adults that adults can enjoy, which I wasn't expecting it to. I was really just expecting this to just be a kid's movie, but I do think adults can enjoy this movie. I found a lot more enjoyment out of it than I thought I was going to. I liked Clifford with half a bucket of popcorn. I mean, I'm not going to go back and watch the TV show. No, that's for like 8-year-olds. I'm 27 years old. But I mean, I have enough knowledge where it's like, yeah, I know Clifford's a big red dog. And yeah, after seeing this, I kind of just want to hug him. Because he's just the most lovable dog ever. Next to Air Bud. Nobody tops Air Bud, okay? That dog plays sports. I ain't seen Clifford do any of that yet. So guys, have you seen Clifford the Big Red Dog? Drop me some feedback in the comment section below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.